All right, so the most important thing when it comes to Quantum Social Vids is going to be the hook. The very beginning, what is your opening line? One of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to making social media videos is to get right into it. That's what you want to do. The misconception is making the formal introduction.
Okay.
I know there's a perspective of a lot of people don't know you, but on social media, they just want to be a fly on the wall.
Right.
Because that's kind of what you're doing on social media. And
Yeah.
people want to be social on social media.
Yeah.
They don't want
in
ads.
a non-social way, right?
Right. Yeah, so you just kind of put the mind into your potential audience. What do they actually want?
Right.
But from the personal level. And so that's going to be the first thing that we start with. And that's what you get. And that's more than meets the eye with JT Visuals.
Right.
Is, this guidance and scripting live,
Sure.
And then the beauty of video, I always tell people, is you can redo it. Mess up, let's reshoot it.
Yeah.
And then you can't polish a turd.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to.
yeah, who wants to do
unless
that?
it's petrified, right? Oh, gosh.
So it's really good to just redo it.
Okay.
Repoop it. I'm just kidding.
Let's edit that.
Oh,
Okay, so you want me to
get
hook?
started,
Okay.
all you have to do is have general ideas.
Okay.
And I can even on the spot during our session
Mm-hmm.
come up with those ideas with you.
Yeah.
Because I have this guide in my head, and this guide will be a free guide on a PDF sometime in the future.
Cool.
And so I just go by this and to help guide you. So what are some of the things before we actually shoot your content?
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you would want to accomplish?
What I would like to accomplish is to be able to use this content to tug at somebody's heart that's watching it to say, I can relate to that. I understand what he's saying because I'm going through it, or I've been through that. And, through that gain followers, like a very loyal following of people, but also eventually, have such a strong brand that people are actually moving from just watching to reaching out for help. So I can, obviously either sell them a product that I have or sell my services.
And most of those things you want to connect with when it comes to those pain points are things that you actually have solutions for, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's focus on what you wish that just people knew. Like, what do you think the most valuable solutions would be?
The most valuable solutions, well, because in business, there's different challenges that, but are you talking about like beginner level, like
I just want to think
the biggest problem,
what,
which is people failing their businesses, or?
That's good content too. I want to just go to the solution side first, and then we can tap into all the pain points. So on the solution side, what are like the services that you offer and like all these things, just to kind of get it into a category?
Yeah, so the solutions that I offer is I'm very, very soon going to have an online course.
Okay.
The step up above that is some type of group coaching virtually. Then the step above that is one-to-one coaching with individuals, whether it's via Zoom or here in person if they're in Kansas City or San Diego when I'm there. And then lastly is executive coaching. Large companies that need their executive or their management team to be coached, or some type of strategic planning session. That's kind of the executive level part.
So that's good, because then like for the most part, we could just say coaching as a category. And then when you want to get specific, that's when you can think about that.
Yeah.
So now you would just think backwards. You go like, okay, the online course. Like, this is what I would want my ask to be. So then you would go into, well, what are some common misconceptions about online courses?
Right.
And then specifically, what are some common misconceptions when it comes into online courses with coaching?
Okay.
Like, now you put your mind into the future clicker.
Okay.
The person, what kind of value do they want?
Yeah. So some of the misconceptions of online coursing or courses is that sometimes people think this is all I need to really be able to do it on my own, right? We have a very crazy generation now where they don't really like that one-to-one. Like they're social, but not really, right? They don't want that personal social thing. So online courses are a couple of things, it's cheaper, and they think that they can get all the answers. Now, they can get a lot of answers on those courses. However, without having that personal accountability of a coach, it's really hard to get the results. You can only go so far, and sometimes people get into this thing called information overload, where they're doing is taking courses, reading books, learning content from social media influencers or YouTube channels. But it's like, are you taking action about it?
Yeah, there's a lack of execution.
Exactly. And sometimes they just don't know how to, so they need to refine that through a mentor or a business coach.
And then that could be a big elephant.
Yeah.
And then how do you eat an elephant? Well,
a piece at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to find it, and you got to hunt it down. And no.
Right. Well, I also compare it to like when people go to big mega churches versus small churches. Like you could hide in the background in a mega church, but in a small church, sometimes you have more accountability because people know you, and they kind of hold you accountable to that. Yeah. It's not always the case, but I kind of, because of my spiritual background, I kind of see things that way. You can hide in online courses and feel like you're getting progress, but the progress comes through action, messing up, learning from it, reapplying it, and changing. And it's just that ongoing thing. You don't get the experience just by learning. At a certain point, you got to start applying.
So we just got 2 clips there.
Yep.
So that was really good. Like that just came out so naturally for you.
Yeah.
You really are talented at this. And I think you are self-aware about that. But
a lot of practice, bro.
How are you self-aware about that? Like, do people tell you, or have you just watched yourself back as a critic, and then you're like, I think this is actually good?
Yeah.
Or how do you measure it?
I think there was different levels, because I was very shy and I didn't want to ever do this kind of stuff before because of some trauma in by being raised. But what helped me to be self-aware was obviously people complimenting me and saying, hey, I got a lot out of that, without me having to ask them, what do you think? Right. An insecure person, if they're going around to everybody saying, hey, did you think I did good? Did you think I did good?
Oh.
It was just people like, man. But then also just kind of reading the audience and seeing how they're interacting back with you is a good way to know that you're actually communicating this well. And then obviously at a certain point, you start watching your own clips, and it's like, oh, shoot. That's the thing I hate doing the most, is watching myself, because I'm my worst critic. I'm like, I should have said this instead of that. Oh, my gosh, I noticed I stuttered there, or I didn't say that vocabulary correct, or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just it's hard to watch your stuff. But I think if you start practicing by watching your content, you can actually start to improve, just because you're like, I didn't like that.
I have come down that same road, and I think I'm still on it. I don't know if you ever truly are like, oh, I'm there, or if it's just being there is the game. That's the journey, and that's the part you got to enjoy. But for me, I was like, man, I was doing podcasts and making videos, and I am like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then it would be like 20,000 takes. And
right.
That was part of why I started to love video, though. It's because you can edit it, even though it takes a lot of time.
So it's like when you watch your own content, you're like, dang, you don't know how many clips I edited out of that one just to get to where I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then when I do live things, like I've spoken at churches before a few times, and then hearing some of the feedback, and I was the same way. Like I did music, and so I didn't want to go around and go, what'd you think? It just doesn't feel humble. And so when the feedback just comes naturally.
Right.
Usually.
Right.
Especially if it's valuable. People are going to make comments and stuff.
Sure.
And so that's cool.
And I think, too, like you were part of a church worship team, right? So I feel as if within that group of people that you play with, they'll let you know if you screwed up, either by a facial expression or afterwards be like, hey, dude,
It's funny when they let you know and it doesn't have anything to do with.
Yeah. But I was part of so I don't know if I'm a professional musician, but I played for some worship teams and some pretty good ones. And I was blessed to be part of one where it's like they were very upfront and blunt. Like there was a standard to where you had to play and sing.
Okay.
And they were very, very honest with you. And I actually appreciate that type of approach, especially for excellence. You know what I mean?
Yep. And it's like, are you doing that up front or not? So if you set that up front, then that's good.
You position it there.
So Usually with Quantum Social Vids,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like this, but of course, since we're recording behind the scenes content, I already got 3 clips
Yeah.
for you
Oh,
out
sweet.
of the 8.
Wow.
Like I just know that they're going to be good.
Right.
I was paying attention to the hook, the beginning. Is
Mm-hmm.
that a good opener line? And I didn't have to have you redo anything.
Nice.
So
Let's hope I can do that
naturally,
again. Let's do it
yeah.
again.
you're naturally good at it.
Yeah.
Let's do something 100% focused.
Okay.
And I want to hear from you. Like what kind of clip do you want?
So can you like narrow that down? Like what kind of clip do you want? Because I have so many
Oh, you got
ideas
so
in
many.
my like.
What's
I can go here. I can go there. I can go everywhere.
out of your solutions that you mentioned? What's like one of the top? What's the top priority that you just? If only I could push people here this month.
Oh, okay, gotcha. If there's something that I can help every single entrepreneur with, whether they just start, they're thinking about it, they're midway through to their goals, or they're like 7, 8, 9-figure businesses, is making sure they're always paying attention to their vision of the company.
Oh, that's good.
And more specifically, creating core values around that vision. That's like a binder that you put on your foundation that helps to keep the foundation from like falling apart, because growth in a business, or all these fires that happen through clients, or maybe, team members falling apart, that really weakens the integrity of your foundation in the business. But if you have a strong vision and core values that are attached to your personal goals, then that kind of binds the foundation. So it works really well when things are going great, and it also works really good when things are not going so great, because in business, you're never going to have the perfect amount of peace. You know what I mean? You're always going to have challenges, because you deal with people, whether they're your team members, or you deal with people, whether they're your clients. And this is even if you have a business where you don't even see your clients. Let's say it's a product that you sell online. You're still going to have challenges with those people, because what if they're not happy with the product? What if the shipping was wrong between, the drop shipper?
Yeah.
You're dealing with people in between.
Yeah.
So having a strong vision and having core values to back that up is super important for any business at any stage, because those are the things that you actually do things for. So your core values guide you. They're like your DNA. So hiring, for example, you don't want to just hire anybody just because they have the skill. You also want to hire people that align to that core value system that you have. For example, if one of your core values is we do everything with a spirit of excellence, well, you can hire somebody that's very skillful at what they do, but they're sloppy. You know what I mean? Or they have a bad attitude. They really, their workstation is super messy, or they get all these emails and take forever to answer them. And they, those are recipes for just things falling apart. And eventually, when you have too much chaos in your business, you lose revenue, you lose profit.
So that's good. Man, that was 2 more clips, but it leads on to some questions, because right now this is a little bit podcast style of the clips, which is great content. But I do want to make sure that we get some of them that are just direct to the camera, direct to the audience, and aim at something, you know.
Do you want to do that?
So let's go ahead and shift into that.
Sweet.
And of some of the things, I do want to get into the core values thing.
Okay.
Would it be valuable to communicate about how to come up with core values, do you think? Do you, would you want that to be one of your videos? Or is that something you want to coach people with?
That's something I can coach them with, but I can come up with it. I have a story of how I came up with my core values.
Okay, stories are great.
Yeah.
Let's go into a story.
Do you want me to look at the camera?
Yeah, we'll start with that, and then.
So there are a lot of companies out there that are like, great, core values, awesome, but how do we come up with them? And it's a lot more challenging to come up with core values, because it actually forces you to think. You can't just come up with them in like a minute or 2.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, I'm going to interrupt.
Okay, go
That
ahead.
happens. We got to get that opening line.
Okay, cool.
A little bit more. And I was letting you go on because I wanted to listen.
Gotcha.
And we just got to tap into what you were saying. From the first second, the emotion of it.
Yeah.
So you can think of it as a problem, or you can think of it as
That one's a more
pain
challenging
points,
one.
or you can say, Like usually a hook is something where it's like gossipy sounding,
Yeah.
almost clickbait, but when you click it, there's actually sustenance there.
Mm-hmm.
So this one could be like this one thing could change something. Like that could be an opening. Hooks are also great for if you think about it with a subject line for people to click in an email. You know?
So like something like having strong core values in your business can help you retain good talent and please your customers to where you can actually profit a lot more money off of that or something like that.
Yeah,
or?
so that's great. It just felt like we went into it already.
Okay.
So we need to like zoom back and set an expectation to the audience of what they're about to watch, which would be like it's got to be like one sentence, and if it includes the word you, this could like this. My mind keeps going to like this could help.
Yeah.
Or
I think I'm too into core values right now to where I'm missing the hook in my brain. But I see what you're saying. Let me think about this for just a second.
Think of your audience. You know, they're scrolling. They're about to watch a video. 3 more scrolls. They're about to watch Coach Joe. And he's going to share something about core values. What's that opening line to catch their attention?
I'm just thinking generic. Core values are the key to business success. No, they're not.
Okay.
It's not everything, but
we can work with that. Think like that and then go more specific. So just it's kind of like niching down in marketing, you know? So it's like the core values can help you blank. Like
core values can help you.
Or you start with them. You say you is the first word.
This is help me word this. The core values allow you to no longer be the bad person in your business when employees screw up and have to get disciplinary action.
So what do you do when employees screw up?
What do you do when employees screw up?
And then you go into it.
Or I'm thinking
like
more
something
of
like that.
Are you afraid to address your team members when they do something wrong because you're afraid that they're going to think you're the bad guy or something like that?
Dude, that's cool.
Or are you afraid to be the bad guy in your business? You know you're supposed to discipline your team if they do something wrong, but you're too afraid to do so because you don't want to come off as a bad person.
Yeah. So are you afraid to discipline your team?
Gotcha.
Like that.
Yes.
And then you can bring in the bad guy and all that.
Yeah. Cool.
Dude, that's good. That's good.
So do I point?
All right, ready? Action.
Are you an employer that's afraid to discipline your team?
No, hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
And you don't have to say as an employer. Just, are you like people will keep scrolling if they don't like
Gotcha. Are you afraid to discipline your team members if they do something wrong, if they miss something? Chances are it's because of 2 reasons. Number 1, you don't have any proper guidelines so they understand that they actually did something wrong. Or number 2, you just don't want to come across as the bad person. Well, I have a solution for you. If you actually come up with strong core values from your business, your core values become the good and the bad person. Meaning, your core values guide people whether they should be fired or hired, disciplined or celebrated, because there's a guideline of how everybody should act based off of the core values of your company. If you get strong at that, if you create good core values that represent your character, your vision for the business, then everybody has a guideline of how they should be or what they should do. And it would be easier to discipline and to celebrate because of those core values.
Dude, that was fire. You're talking about people getting fired? Well, I'm on I feel like I'm on fire just because you were on fire. So that was good. That was
a good
perfect.
One. So you're really good at like pulling, dude.
I don't tell me because I got to put it into words.
I actually really appreciate how you ask questions to the point where it makes me think. It makes me think in a way where I have to make these videos actually get somebody's attention, right? So I had some cheesy like liners, but then like you asked me a couple questions and boom, something came up.
Yeah.
But beforehand, all my other videos, I was able to come up with it on my own. So I was struggling with this one, which was great. So thank you, bro.
Dude,
appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. I love workshopping it.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm the best, but I feel like I can pull the best out of the person I'm, like you have something good in you. Yeah. There is greatness inside of you. And I want to be able to pull that out of you and share that with the world because you have something great that can translate and that can inspire and that can move other people to then be great as well. So together, let's make the world a greater place with JT Visuals.
And Action Coach. Stay strong.
There, I just did my Quantum Social.
that. You could do that clip with me where I'm like, dude, you're really good at pulling these things.
Yeah.
Like, I think you should do that. Sweet. Like, hey, fastimonial in a Quantum Social form.
Yes. Dude. I mean, technically, those are the same. So, for clarity's sake, if anybody's watching this whole thing and you made it here this far, then awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
But to separate those fastimonials, they're 1 minute testimonials.
Yeah.
And those are of other people talking on behalf of your business or your event. So you get up to 3 of those on a fastimonial session included.
And those are worth it. Like I've done some for some of my workshops. And those fastimonial videos, when we actually put them on social media and even boost it just a little bit, we get so much interaction off of that.
That's awesome.
And honestly, like the last 2 workshops I had where we were actually showing the fastimonials, we actually had new people register and pay money to come. Dude. Now, I'm not saying it's because of the fastimonial. I'm just saying that's the thing that we did differently and we got a different result, something that we actually enjoyed. So it's one of those things where, it might be hard to measure it, to master it, but if we did that differently and we got an awesome different result, well then 2 and 2 plus equals 4, right? Like it's just one of those things.
That's awesome.
So do it.
It's incredible.
If you're thinking about it, if you have a business where having somebody visually see a brand that's you or your product or maybe just a service that you have, video right now is key, especially on social media, YouTube, you know what I mean? Even in a form of a podcast, whatever it is, if you can get in front of the camera, a lot of people want to interact that way, where they don't have to say hi to you, shake their hand, feel like you're pressuring them to buy. But if they can see your content over and over and over again, they're deciding in little increments whether they should buy from you, register for whatever workshop you're doing, buy solar, whatever it is. I don't care what industry you're in, videography. If you could use videos, it's going to be powerful. That's where everything is going right now, is video.
Yeah.
Everything's going video right now.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I think video helps SEO your website better than just keywords, in my opinion.
Especially when you're talking about things within the video, because what they're doing is transcripting those videos. So, yes, you're right.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
And adding captions to them just even helps even more.
Yeah. YouTube is the number 2 search engine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's close to number 1.
And you know who owns YouTube?
Yeah. The number 1 search engine.
The number 1 search engine. So the number 1 search engine just became even bigger because they bought the number 2. And so they're both 1 and 2, which makes them probably the GOAT right now. Yeah. So it's like there's no comparison.
Yeah.
What's number 3? Just out of curiosity, do you know? I have no idea.
It's going to be up for Bing, or it's going to be up for, isn't it called Bing?
So I know about Bing. Yeah, but like
or Yahoo.
It's so far down. Like
no, it's DuckDuckGo.
Oh, DuckDuckGo. Yeah, because everybody doesn't want their stuff to be seen.
They don't want it crawled as much.
But even then, like you got Google, YouTube, and then DuckDuckGo is 3, but it's still like down here compared to all those other search engines.
Yeah, because this is going to come up. It's become natural for us.
Yeah.
So I love that now because it just auto transcribes your videos for you on YouTube, even if it's a YouTube short. So these Quantum Social videos will still be on there, and people run into the shorts now on search results as well.
Yeah. So I feel like Quantum Social videos are so important to the brand, though, because people get to see you. People get to figure out who you are on a personal level, your temperament, your tone, everything like that. And I think that that's how people actually make decisions nowadays.
Yeah.
Do I feel like JT is a cool guy? Like, he has cool stuff, but, like, how is he personally? I feel like people make decisions like that.
They do.
You know?
Yeah, because people are actually judgmental first.
Well, we both are, right? Like
Yeah.
when we're looking for a company, I'm judging the 5-star reviews. I'm judging how they look. I'm judging,
And part
all
of that's
that.
because of just that fight or flight mentality
Yeah.
that we all have naturally, whether that's, intentional or not. It's
Yeah.
just there.
Yeah.
And there's different levels of it. So you can say, I don't judge. And really, you got to think about the context, because
Yeah.
you do judge, but it's more like analyzing
Yeah.
and then making assumptions, but maybe not acting on it. And then judging people is more like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm writing you off just because of this one thing.
Exactly.
And you're a bad person because of this. That's judging.
Yeah. Do you want to know a story of how I actually came up with my core values? Because it has a lot to do with judging somebody or something.
That's a good segue.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So, okay. I was like having a hard time trying to figure out how to put core values together. I've never done this. It didn't come naturally. I know that in my heart, I had a set of principles that I wanted to abide by, but check this out. When it came for creating core values for my business, I had some generic BS like integrity, honesty, right? And really, I'm like, well, what does that really mean? How do I make it more meaningful? Well, it just so happened that during that time, we had a cable company scheduled to come out to our house to install cable because we just moved. And first of all, it pissed me off because they gave me an 8-hour window when they're going to show up. So that means we couldn't schedule any jobs because it was just me doing the business at the moment.
That's a big
My
window.
wife it was a big window. I'm like, dude, like, okay, that's a whole day, right? Like, is there an hour within that or two? Well, the guy shows up. We hear a knock. We open it. And I'll tell you what, dude, like we opened the door and the biggest whiff of just cigarette and nicotine hit us. The guy looked like he hadn't changed his clothes in a week. He had the greasiest hair. It looked like a horror movie, like
Really?
Jason showing up or something without the mask. Mud on his shoes, and guess what the guy just does? He just walks in without permission, mud all over his shoes, and says, "Where do you want it?"
What?
Didn't say, "Hey, I'm with the cable
Not even
company."
hello.
Not even hello. Then check this out. True story. He asks to use the restroom. He blows up my toilet.
Oh my goodness. This
Doesn't
sounds like
clean it.
the show that I watched.
Right. And so it's just over and over again. Butt crack was showing. I'm like, this is a true story. If you ask my wife, she might be a little bit nicer about all this stuff, but this is how I remember it because it was really a big deal to me. Like, bro, I would not have you come into my house.
Yeah.
And so the first core value came from a motto that I wanted. It was like, serving you with excellence. That came out of, that definitely wasn't excellence. Now I know exactly how I wanted to make things be excellent. So how do we do that? Like in our company, we said everybody has to bring shoe covers. Everybody has to be clean. Everybody has to be well groomed. Everybody has to say, hello, may I please enter your home? Like I literally became an expert at making a policy just by watching that guy saying everything he did, I'm going to opt. So everything I felt like it was God just like, hey, I'm going to help you create core values and your manual by watching this dude. Like everything he does, just do the opposite and you'll be fine. You know what I mean? And then from there, we started having, challenges with customers and we were really good at fixing those problems. And we're like, second core value is we don't want our clients to be a number or a dollar figure, but people we actually want to build relationships with for the long term because we realized that the happier they were, they came back to us. They sent us referrals. Then when we finally built a team, then we're like, whoa, we really want to build a strong culture where they can come to work, be happy about coming, even if it was a hard job, and everything trickles down from the top. So our core value, basically our core values are split up between courses of time, but based off of stories we found. You know what I mean? And then we had one that says we pride ourselves in our professional appearance because somebody complimented me on my tucked in shirt and all this. I was like, I want more compliments like that. Well, that's something I value. I want all my technicians to look like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And then it just so forth and so on. And then the last two was servant leadership. We practiced servant leadership because I realized I'm serving my team. Well, if I promote from within, they're going to do the same thing for the lower people. And then my coach gave me the idea of the last one that said, good enough isn't. She's like, so if excellence is your thing, why are you only good enough? And I'm like, crap.
Dang.
So good enough isn't came out of that.
Wow.
Boom. I still memorize my core values. And I sold this company 3 years ago.
Wow. I found myself adopting a lot of my church core values into it, and I'm still workshopping a lot of mine. It's like I think a lot more experience with team and things will start to bring those out. But dude, that's awesome. So that was a longer story.
Yeah.
And so we talked about testimonials, quantum social videos. Those can be whatever you want, but they are strategically for social media. If you don't want to use it for social media, cool, be my guest.
Yeah.
However, because as long as they are edited the same way,
Yeah.
then it can fall under that, which is 1 minute videos. Very similar to testimonials, but this time it's you speaking, and you get up to 8 videos. And for that one, I would love to share that story.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't think I can get a clip from what we just did without massive editing. And I believe in this thing called live editing. I'm not sure if that could be a core value. I don't know. Edit live if you can. Or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it what I call is live editing, where we're just like, okay, we heard the whole thing. Let's go through and just do piece by piece and try to fit it into a minute, because that's way easier than just going to the desk.
Yeah.
And then getting frustrated because things don't line up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So do you want that to be one of your videos? I think it would be really good.
Sure.
Where you share that story, because stories are huge.
I'll take that as a value video. How about that?
What?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just making up words.
Oh.
You're the expert.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I need to differentiate one more thing then,
Okay,
since you bring that
cool.
up. A value video.
Ooh.
So value videos is something that we offer as well. But the difference with this for us is a value video is going to be longer than a minute.
Okay.
And you get up to 3 of those. And then I don't want to, whatever on the website says, I think it's a 2-hour session.
Yeah.
But I don't want to, like, if I change it later, I don't
Yeah.
want to lock myself into that. So definitely reference the website. But a value video, those are the ones that are similar to quantum social videos, where you're just giving value out. But it's not meant for social media. It is meant for your website.
Yep.
It's meant for other online presence. It's meant for, like, personalizing videos.
Yeah.
And, put it in the process if there's a training video.
That would
Selling
actually
courses.
that would be a good course video when I talk about core values. Like, hey, watch this story. Joe was talking to JT about it.
Yeah.
Boom. So.
Okay. So.
Boom.
All right. There's our
It's
value
there.
video.
Yeah. 'Cause it goes with mastery number 1, which is vision. Because vision, you also have to attach core values to it. So, boom. It's a course.
So do you want to, like, bookend that and still do a session with value videos? So Coach Joe's a value video subscriber as well.
Heck yeah, I'm a subscriber to almost everything he has.
So
because it works.
Pretty
baby.
much is, you're the value guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it's called value because I'm saying something of value and giving it to my audience.
Right.
And they're gonna judge the value, which so far they've been judging it well with me. And it brings people to watch you, especially if you're in an industry like mine where it's service and information.
yeah.
Dude, you gotta just do it.
Mm.
Just do it. What's stopping you? If you haven't done it before, if something could change the course of your business, why don't you just try it?
And how does video fit into your vision? Because your vision, world abundance through
Business re-education.
Re-education.
Yeah.
What better way to do it
Sure.
than where people already are and to put it into video?
I'll tell you this. I already have a following in India and the Philippines.
Dude, right on.
You know why? Because there was a business professor in India that knew somebody that was that followed me on Facebook, started coming to my online course and said, hey, I'm going to forward this to all of my business students in Mumbai or something like that.
Okay.
And I got like 300 Indian subscribers.
Nice.
And they watch my stuff.
That's incredible. So, yeah.
I don't even know what's going to come out of that, but still, it's business. It's world abundance through business re-education. If I can help them, it's now world abundance because I'm around the world.
You want to grab an audience attention first.
Yeah.
Attention is the number one asset, is what Gary Vee says.
Yep.
And I believe that. And it's like, where is the attention?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, the attention's all on a phone.
Right.
So even to shoot a commercial, I love commercials. But if there's ads on Disney Plus and ads on all these other streaming platforms now, where do you go? Where does your attention go?
Yeah.
During those ads?
My
Usually
phone.
it goes back to the phone. So it's like the social world is still dominating.
Yeah.
I don't want to be naive and think it always will, but
I think it'll dominate for a while.
I think it will too.
I think it will for a while until, well, I don't know. I don't know the future too, but I don't think it's going anywhere soon.
Yeah. So that has become the media.
Yeah.
And it's funny because now like the media, who is like the news outlets and channels and stuff,
they go through
are now going through social media, and
Yeah.
social media has the control a little bit now.
Does that explain why we have dumber people? Honestly, like, that's just a joke between me and you, but still.
Yeah.
Because if you're only watching your news and making your decision off of 30-second clips, that's really hard.
Yeah.
That's
true.
You know,
and
but
I've seen
it works. It works for the people that are trying to advertise, which unfortunately there's a lot of bad people advertising, but still, you know, like it works.
Yeah, it just really exposes us on social media of like the person behind it. So it's like
exactly,
it's just gonna come out and it just exposes you faster.
Right.
So, but anyways, the thing that I go for is you got to grab that attention wherever it is.
Yeah. And
then it helps to grow an audience, and you give them value, and then you can leverage that.
Yeah.
And then that's the whole model. And I always try to go for a long game rather than just making one ad,
right?
Or even multiple ads to push. This isn't even a pull that much.
Yeah.
Like a pull is grabbing people and their attention, but it's not a pull ad. It's just branding. And it's like building you up for people to get inside looks at like what you do and stuff. Yeah. So that's what I'm all about. And
well, it's funny. I don't know if I got this from Gary Vee, but it might be because he talks about attention. Like branding is like getting people's attention. That's
true.
It's getting them to look at you. So you have to say, look at me, right? And they'll be like, I like that.
I've heard this thing too where it's like, if people can describe you on social media or whatever you're trying to brand without saying the name, and then people recognize you. Yeah. So like, oh, Coach Joe, that guy that has those glasses on his forehead all the time. Yeah. So then like
that's funny that you said it because I was thinking about that this morning.
You had it on your head during Growth Club.
I know.
So there's a bunch of videos about to release that's like that.
There we go. Hey, that's fine.
But that's branding. Whether you like that or not, you just didn't put a title on it. So.
Somebody will relate to something. Something will grab their attention. Like those glasses on my head obviously caught your attention. Yeah. And if it caught yours, maybe some other people. And if that's the only thing that said, hey, let me focus on this guy for right now, what I'm saying is going to register with them.
Right.
Right? If it's, oh, he has this shirt that always says Action Coach. Why doesn't he ever wear any other clothes? Well, it's branding. It gets your attention. Even if it's negative, like, you know, politicians do it all the time. Even if they're negative about things, if they're loud enough on social media, people got their attention, or they got people's attention.
Yeah. Dude, that's so good.
Yeah.
Let's get to your story real quick.
Okay.
We got to finish this. How did you start your story? It was about core values.
Oh, yeah.
Or let's do...
I kind of finished it up already.
Do a recap to me. Well, because we want to get the minute version.
Oh,
we got a value video version, but we didn't get a quantum social video version.
Gotcha. So the journey of me creating my core values comes down to one incident, but then multiple after that. It was a very bad technician that came to my house that was supposed to install cable.
I have your hook.
Okay, cool.
What would you do in this situation?
Okay.
And then, so this guy, like, and do it in story form.
Gotcha.
Someone came to my house, and, you know.
So what would you do in this situation? A cable guy coming to your house that looks dirty, has dirty shoes, doesn't ask to come in, and just says, where do you want me to install it? And then messes up your bathroom, stinks up your house because he smells like a nicotine box. For me, although I hated the situation, I actually created core values out of that and was able to build a technician's manual for my company based off of what not to do because he showed me everything not to do. So serving with excellence was the first one, and good enough isn't was my last one. There was a lot of in between from there, but I created core values from that.
And then one last like outro line. So like you created core values for that, and then what has that done for you?
Okay,
just as a
so should I say I created core values from that, and from there. Should I say that?
I think you ended well. Like,
okay, so
we just need that add-on sentence. You don't have to say and or anything.
Yeah. Those core values allowed me to build a very stable business that kept good employees there, bad employees out, and I was able to sell that business for a lot of money one day. So core values are super important.
Dude, okay, so that's good. You can leave it there.
Okay.
That's a value. But my strategy is actually a lot like Gary Vee's as well.
Okay.
Or it's even an old one too.
Cool.
It's jab, 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 right hook. Are you familiar with that?
I heard it.
So this is what we go for. You don't want it all to be ask.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it's your say by the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
But my advice is this is a value.
Oh, yeah.
Value. Then we can do an ask. That's the right hook. That's the leverage part.
Yeah.
Grab attention.
Attention. Ask for business or
Value.
ask for an action.
Well, because it's attention, credibility, then leverage.
Okay.
So your credibility is because you're giving them value.
Got
The
it.
attention's the initial part. So you've built in this session, we have like 3 or 4.
Uh-huh.
You can make this an ask, even though it is a value.
Gotcha.
So it could be a value/ask, where you throw it in at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is your ask? What is your call to action? Do you want to do that on this video, or do a
video.
jab, 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 right hook?
Well, the ask I could say is if you're having issues with your team,
Or if, like, because we're talking about core values. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, and if you're interested in developing core values, give us a call. Or, visit our website.
Okay,
and
let me
book
try it. So if you are struggling with finding the right core values for your company, where you're able to actually make your employees happy through great culture, then I would love to have a conversation with you. If you just click on the link on this website that says book a Coach on Deck call, I can get you with one of our coaches and we can ask you some further questions to see if we might be a good fit for you. Either way, having strong core values will help your company, and we would love to guide you in the right direction to get those set for your company so that you can succeed and you can win in business, and eventually that business could run without you and bless your family. So stay strong.
Okay, so that was its own video
Oh, shoot.
because of the length.
So
Do you want to make that its own video, or do you
no,
want to? Okay,
I didn't understand you then.
so this is attached to the story video. We have 5 seconds left. No, 2 seconds.
Okay. Then guide me on what I should probably say.
So, and if you're looking to construct these core values for your business, blank.
Okay.
What do they do?
Okay. If you're looking to build core values for your business, then reach out to one of our coaches and we'd be glad to have a conversation with you to see how we can help.
Do the reach out part again. Then reach out.
Then reach out to one of our coaches and we'd be happy to have a conversation with you to help figure out what core values match your company.
Do it.
Do it now.
So there. Okay,
cool.
So that's
Gotcha.
a value/ask video.
Got
And that's I have this free social media strategy that I've given out. So shout out if it's still free. You can buy it. It's still out there.
It depends on when you're watching this video,
it depends
right?
when you're watching this. But right now, at the time of recording, it is free if you just scroll down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then it says, get it for free. You just type your email. All I want is an email. That's it. Because I want to give more of this kind of content out to you.
Yeah.
And I want to see all businesses boost their online presence.
Right.
And I want GT Visual to be part of that story.
Absolutely.
That's my grand vision, So definitely do that. And that's on there. It has a little bit of some idea generation, but it's more like, you can, this is value, then an ask.
Yeah.
Value, and ask. And then I put like value/ask. Just because the time we're in is like, even still, some people say it's like you should do 8 values before you do an ask.
Yeah. I remember the only thing I put out on social media was like, buy from me, go to this workshop, go to this, go to that. And you told me about this. And then
Did I?
Now, yeah. And now it's like I have that, but there's so much in between where it's like, hey, free information, value. Hey, think about this. Hey, is your business, wow, look at this. Look at this. Like, we're celebrating a win. Like, just all those things. And then, oh, by the way, I have a really awesome workshop coming up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's good.
So it's kind of cool to see how things are shifting and how people are actually responding to that better.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And think about it as your outreach.
Yep.
So, but an outreach for your vision,
Yeah.
not an outreach for what you're selling. It's an outreach for the vision of why you're selling.
Right.
Dude, that's good.
That's good.
That's good.
JT visuals without the eye, because there's definitely more that meets the eye.
Most people are confined. Is that how you say it?
Confined?
Like they're stuck, or they're restricted
they're
in these
restricted.
walls. But a way to get out of those walls is to put it online.
Yeah.
You got to
like
show
busting
yourself.
out. Yeah, absolutely.
And you're good at that.
Yeah.
So keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on, and you should stay strong.
Is that a wrap?
That's a wrap. Hope you found some value out of this. See you around.